The smoke of the Jedi Temple had barely cleared when Emperor Palpatine summoned his new apprentice. Coruscant was now the heart of a brutal galactic regime. Clones marched across the burning streets, executing the final remnants of the Jedi Order. Palpatine sat upon his throne, his yellow eyes burning with dark satisfaction. The galaxy was finally his. Yet, a shadow of genuine fear remained in the Emperor's mind. Palpatine leaned forward, his voice a sharp, venomous whisper. "Lord Vader, one final task remains. The old green creature still breathes. Find Yoda. Slay him, and our victory will be absolute." Vader bowed his armored head. "It will be done, my master." Deep within his mechanical suit, Anakin Skywalker felt a strange chill. He had seen the Grand Master's power firsthand throughout the Clone Wars. Yoda was not merely an old Jedi, he was a living weapon of the Force. Palpatine handed Vader classified Imperial intelligence logs. Clone search teams had lost contact near the Outer Rim. Strange sensor anomalies were detected near uncharted systems. Vader took the data cylinder. The Emperor believed this would be an easy execution, a simple slaughter of a broken, dying master. But Vader knew better. He remembered Yoda lifting massive gunships with a flick of his wrist. He remembered the blinding speed of Yoda's green lightsaber. Palpatine watched Vader closely, sensing the hesitation buried beneath the dark armor. "Do not underestimate him, Vader. Bring me his head, or you will share his fate." Vader turned on his heel and walked down the vast Imperial corridor. The hunt had officially begun, but deep within his dark mind, doubt began to take root. As Vader stepped aboard his Star Destroyer, the mechanical rhythm of his respirator faltered, shaken by a cold dread he could not suppress. Hyperspace stretched before the viewport of the Executor. Darth Vader stood completely alone on the command deck, his crimson cape still. The crew avoided him, terrified of the dark aura radiating from his mechanical form. But Vader was not thinking about Imperial conquests or military tactics. He was trapped inside his own memories. He closed his eyes and saw the Jedi Temple archives. He remembered training sessions from his youth, watching Yoda instruct hundreds of younglings at once. Anakin had always been arrogant, believing his raw power surpassed everyone in the galaxy. Yet, whenever Yoda stepped into the room, the Force itself seemed to bow. Vader remembered the Battle of Geonosis. He recalled how Count Dooku, a master duelist who easily severed Anakin's arm, fled in absolute terror before Yoda's speed. Vader looked down at his mechanical hands. He had lost to Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar. His body was broken, burned, and encased in an iron prison. If Obi-Wan could defeat him, what chance did he stand against Yoda? The dark side whispered promises of power, but reality told a different story. Palpatine had claimed that the Sith had utterly crushed the Jedi. Yet Palpatine had barely survived his own duel in the Senate against the Grand Master. The Emperor had won through political deceit, not pure combat strength. Vader realized that Yoda had not been conquered. He had simply chosen to vanish. The Grand Master was waiting. A quiet fear gripped the Sith Lord's heart. He was not marching toward an easy execution. He was marching into the territory of a legend that had lived for 900 years. Vader stared into the endless black void, realizing that face-to-face combat with Yoda might result in his own total destruction. The Imperial fleet arrived at the edge of the Sluis sector. Vader examined the sensor readings himself, refusing to let Imperial officers view the classified data. Most worlds in this sector were barren rocks, but one world stood out. It was a forgotten planet, known as Dagobah. The planet had no cities, no technology, and no strategic value to the Empire. Yet, the sensor logs showed something extraordinary, a dense, swirling cloud of living bioenergy. To an ordinary officer, it looked like swamp radiation. To a Sith Lord, it was a blazing beacon of the living force. Vader ordered the fleet to remain in high orbit. "No ships are to follow me. If any vessel approaches the planet, I will execute the commanding officer." His officers bowed in terrified obedience. Vader boarded his personal TIE Advanced Starfighter and disengaged from the hangar bay. He descended through the thick, acidic clouds of Dagobah alone. The planet's atmosphere was a nightmare of violent storms and heavy mist. His targeting computers flickered and died, blinded by the overwhelming life energy of the swamps below. Vader relied entirely on the dark side to guide his descent. He felt a cold, ancient presence waiting deep in the jungle. It was not hiding. It was sitting peacefully, perfectly synchronized with the planet itself. The swamp seemed to swallow his ship whole as he touched down in the thick mud. Vader ignited his crimson lightsaber, the red blade casting an eerie glow over the ancient moss and murky water. He stepped into the fog, his boots sinking into the dark earth. Every step brought him closer to the master he once called a friend. The heavy swamp fog parted slowly, revealing a dark cave that radiated a power far beyond anything Vader had ever imagined. The mouth of the cave beckoned to Vader like an open grave. The Force was suffocating here, blending light and dark into a violent vortex. Vader stepped inside, his crimson blade humming in the damp air. The walls dripped with dark energy. Suddenly, the cave around him transformed. The mist twisted into figures from his past. He saw Padme, her face pale and lifeless, weeping for the monster he had become. Then, the shadows shifted violently. Vader saw himself kneeling before Emperor Palpatine, chained like a common dog. He heard Palpatine's cruel laughter echoing across the stone walls. The vision fast-forwarded through time. Vader watched himself grow older, weaker, completely trapped within his mechanical suit. He saw Palpatine searching the galaxy for a younger, more powerful apprentice to replace him. Vader was nothing more than a disposable tool, a broken enforcer destined to be discarded and murdered once his usefulness expired. Then, the final image appeared. A small green figure stood in the distant stars, watching the galaxy with calm patience. Yoda was not building an army. He was preserving the true knowledge of the Force. Yoda was the only living being who could guide a new generation to destroy the Sith forever. If Vader killed Yoda today, Palpatine's Dark Empire would reign completely unchallenged for eternity. Vader would remain an eternal slave, doomed to die in chains. The vision snapped shut. Vader fell to his knees in the mud, his mechanical breath coming in rapid, violent bursts. The cave went silent. The truth was now painfully clear. Vader deactivated his lightsaber, realizing that killing the Grand Master would seal his own fate as Palpatine's permanent slave. Vader walked silently through the dense jungle, concealing his dark presence within the living Force. Ahead, a tiny glow of firelight cut through the swamp mist. Beneath the roots of an ancient, twisted tree sat a small mud hut. Vader stood motionless in the shadows. Sitting by the fire was Grand Master Yoda. The old Jedi looked frail, his robes worn and dirty, boiling a simple root stew. To an ordinary observer, he looked like a helpless hermit waiting to die. But Vader could feel the immense, quiet storm resting inside that tiny body. Yoda had completely detached himself from galactic war, anchoring himself to the cosmic force. Vader rested his hand on his lightsaber hilt, but he did not ignite the blade. A cold, calculating realization swept over the Sith apprentice. The Emperor feared Yoda more than any rebellion, fleet, or army. As long as Yoda lived, Palpatine could never truly sleep in peace. Yoda represented the ultimate check on the Emperor's absolute dominion. Furthermore, Vader knew he could never overthrow Palpatine alone. His mechanical armor was built by the Emperor to be vulnerable to Force lightning. He needed a counterweight in the galaxy, a master who could train someone strong enough to break the dark side's grip. Yoda paused, stirring his pot, but did not look up. He knew Vader was watching from the tree line. Yet, neither warrior moved. A silent, unspoken understanding passed between them through the mist. Vader slowly released his weapon. He would not do Palpatine's dirty work. he would let the light side survive in exile. Without speaking a single word, Vader turned his back on the Jedi Master and walked silently back into the fog. Back at his landed starfighter, Darth Vader began orchestrating the greatest lie in Imperial history. He knew that simply returning empty-handed would raise immediate suspicion. Palpatine was a master of deceit and would easily sense failure. Vader had to provide undeniable proof of the Grand Master's demise. Vader activated his ship's military databanks. Using his high-clearance command codes, he accessed the automated Imperial Scout archives. He selected the coordinates for Dagobah and completely wiped the sector from standard navigation charts. To the Imperial Navy, this region of space would now show up as an impassable, toxic graveyard of dead stars. Next, Vader gathered fragments of an old, broken Jedi lightsaber hilt he had claimed during the Temple Massacre. He used his own red blade to scorch and melt the metal, making it appear as though it had been violently destroyed in a duel to the death. He recorded falsified sensor logs, showing a massive energy signature that completely burned out. Vader sat in the cockpit, reviewing every piece of forged data. The narrative was simple and brutal. Lord Vader had tracked the fugitive to the Outer Rim, engaged him in combat, and incinerated the ancient master in a swamp fire. By declaring Yoda dead, Vader ensured the Empire would never send another probe droid, inquisitor, or fleet to Dagobah. Yoda was now invisible, protected behind the very bureaucracy designed to hunt him down. Vader fired up his engines and ascended into orbit. The trap was set, but the hardest test was yet to come. The TIE fighter docked aboard the Executor, carrying a lie that could cost Vader his life if discovered. The throne room on Coruscant was freezing cold. Emperor Palpatine sat high upon his dais, watching Vader walk toward him across the polished black floor. The Red Royal Guards stood like statues against the walls. Vader knelt, placing the melted lightsaber hilt at the foot of the throne. "It is finished, my master," Vader announced, his deep voice echoing in the chamber. "The creature Yoda is dead. I destroyed him in the Outer Rim." Palpatine extended his pale, twisted hand. The broken hilt flew into his grasp. The Emperor turned the burnt metal over, inspecting it with sharp, calculating eyes. He closed his eyes and reached into the Force, probing the galaxy for the Grand Master's presence. The galaxy was chaotic, flooded with the dark side, making it impossible to detect a single, quiet Jedi hiding in the deep swamps. Then, Palpatine turned his piercing yellow gaze directly upon Vader. The Emperor unleashed a powerful mental probe, violently smashing against Vader's mental barriers. Palpatine searched for truth, testing his apprentice's loyalty. Vader braced himself. Instead of hiding the memory, he focused entirely on the raw hatred he felt during the mission. He projected images of burning swamps, dark caves, and pure rage. He hid the truth beneath a massive wall of dark side anger. Palpatine smiled thinly, though his eyes remained cold and suspicious. "You have done well, Lord Vader, yet I feel a strange disturbance in your thoughts, a shadow of deception." Vader did not flinch. "My only desire is the security of our Empire, Master." Palpatine leaned back, his fingers tapping the armrest, convinced for now, but planting a deadly seed of doubt. Standing on the observation deck of the Imperial Palace, Darth Vader looked out over the endless city of Coruscant. Massive star destroyers patrolled the skies, enforcing a brutal peace across thousands of star systems. To the entire galaxy, the Sith had won total, absolute victory. The Jedi Order was officially recorded as extinct. Yet, millions of light years away, an ancient spark remained burning in the dark. Grand Master Yoda sat safely in his swamp hut on Dagobah, untouched by the Empire's wrath. Vader looked down at his own mechanical hands. For the first time since falling to the dark side, he felt a strange sense of control over his destiny. He had not spared Yoda out of kindness or love for the Jedi. He had spared Yoda out of sheer strategic rebellion. Vader knew that the Sith Code was built on betrayal. Palpatine would eventually try to replace him, but Vader had just changed the rules of the game. Somewhere in the future, a new hope would rise. Yoda would be there to train that hope. When the time came, the light side would return to challenge the Emperor, creating the exact opening Vader needed to destroy his master once and for all. By refusing to hunt Yoda, Vader had secretly doomed Palpatine's empire from the very beginning. The Grand Master was no longer a hunted fugitive. He was an invisible weapon waiting for the right moment to strike back. Vader turned away from the window and walked back into the shadows of the palace, ready to play the long, dangerous game of galactic survival. Far across the stars, in the quiet swamps of Dagobah, Yoda opened his eyes and whispered, "A choice you made, Skywalker, and hope you have given us all."